Excellent. Well, let's get this show on the road. I see a lot of people have joined us, and there's a few more still coming in, but let's get started so we stay on track in terms of time. Hello and good day, everyone, again. So, I'm Maxime Ramirez, Senior Director for AI Strategy here at ABBYY, and I wanted to welcome you to today's customer exclusive webinar, AI within your ABBYY platform. I'm joined today by Andrew Zuzin, our Vice President of Product Management for Intelligent Document Processing, as well as Levena Hristova, Director of Product Marketing here at ABBYY. Together, we'll be your presenters for this webinar today. But before we kick off, I'd like to share some quick details. So all attendees are in listen-only mode, and today's event should be approximately 1 hour in duration. We'll have a live Q&A session at the end. Now, if you do have questions for any of the presenters, please submit them through the questions tab on your screen. So you have that in the GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar platform. There's a questions tab. You can enter your questions there. So we will strive to answer as many questions as possible. However, if we are unable to get to your question, don't worry. We will be more than happy to connect with you post-event to ensure that you get the answers that you're looking for. So if you do experience any technical issues, please submit them through the questions tab as well, and we will do our best to have our organizers that are working behind the scenes, Agata, help you resolve them. Now in the handouts tab, you actually will find a couple of assets that are related to today's topics. So please be sure to download those. They will be very valuable. And today's webinar is being recorded, and you will receive the on-demand version within about 2 to 3 business days after the event itself. So without further ado, let's get started. So today's topics will cover a vast array of interesting points for conversation. First of all, I want to walk you through how ABBYY is leveraging foundational AI models within its technology. And that will actually then bring us to the section from Andrew Zuzin to talk about what we actually have from that foundational AI that is already being deployed inside of our products today. So how we go from the fundamental AI into the actual products themselves and how we make that applicable. And then after we've covered the Vantage roadmap together with Andrew, we'll look at a couple of new great use cases and expansion opportunities for you, for our customers, that you can do with your Vantage and FTSE Capture platforms today. So quite a lot of exciting things. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the questions tab, and let's dive in. So how exactly is ABBYY leveraging foundational AI models within its technology? Well, the thing is, artificial intelligence, it's not just a singular thing. If you want to apply AI to real-world problems, you need to have a collection of specialized techniques and technologies. I've been having many interesting conversations with lots of different customers, thought leaders, and technology leaders about this particular topic. Due to the hype that's suddenly been created a couple of, let's say about a year ago, a little bit more, along with, large language models, ChatGPT, all of those things, suddenly everybody had in their hands what they would call artificial intelligence. Of course, as all of us know, it's been around a lot longer, but now everybody seems to think that it is going to solve every single problem for us. But the thing is, AI, again, it's a collection of specialized techniques and technologies. And I want to show you today how we at ABBYY are actually leveraging those techniques and technologies in the product that you already use today, and how we're going to further advance them into the future. Now, of course, there's definitely a need for all of this capability. And definitely the thing is, when you look at the hype that exists around, for example, large language models or using generative AI, there's a lot of information around it that is actually also creating some risk for organizations. I was speaking to leaders inside of the data science space, and they said, well, we want to build our own models. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And of course, the question is, where do you get the data to actually be able to leverage and provide that right context for generative AI to be able to process and get that output that you're looking for? Because that's one of the dangers with generative AI, I would say. And we've talked about this in previous sessions, where if you don't give it the right context, the right constraints, then that is exactly the kind of opposite effect of what you're going to want to achieve that you'll be able to get. Now, of course, one of the things that a lot of organizations are now starting to realize is that 90% of a business process contains documents. And that document has the data that you need to leverage to be able to consume or actually use generative AI. And that's really important. Now, even if you wanted to do something as simple as what they would call context injection, you need to have a proper knowledge base that allows you to combine your organization's knowledge in combination with the prompt that you're asking for generative AI to generate new content for you. Now, again, that knowledge base is coming from your data that's typically locked away inside of silos. And also, that's locked away inside of your documents. So that's why a lot of analysts actually agree with us when we say you need to have pre-built, specifically narrow AI built for intelligent document processing to be able to build out and compile that knowledge base so you can then get to the right point in time where you can start to leverage generative AI. So with that, that is exactly what ABBYY is all about. We want to make it possible for you to go on that generative AI journey, but definitely using the AI capabilities that are fit for purpose and that are absolutely fit for your needs today. Now, there is, of course, the fact that the technology that we're now seeing that is evolving so rapidly is definitely creating a new shift about how we interact with technology. So if I were asked, what exactly is all of this leading to? What is generative AI going to do for us? What are large language models going to do for us? I often compare it to when we first were introduced to, I would say, low code, no code. This was ushered in by everybody suddenly having a smartphone, access to a smartphone, which just worked. Everything was easy, everything was specific purpose. And that actually created a shift in how people were viewing technology. It could be easy to do. Before that, enterprise technology was very hard to actually use and even maintain. So that created that first shift. I think now what AI is specifically doing is in this next shift of how we interact with technology. And I think once we have and we've pured out everything that is good about specifically large language models, the large language models reasoning capability, ability to transform input into a different kind of output, that will provide us with what I think once we get to the plateau of productivity and we get past all the hype, that will be copilots. So copilots is definitely something that is there to make it even easier to work with technology. We already have low code, no code today, which is opening up technology to a lot of new groups of people that before were not able to work with it. And I think once you have the ability of copilots, that will be the next shift that we're going to be able to see. Again, opening up to even more user groups, the way that they can leverage and how easy they can leverage very complex technologies like intelligent document processing. So the interesting part is Vantage, our leading intelligent document processing product, already has a copilot, and we're actually definitely thinking about how we expand those. When we introduced Vantage a couple of years ago, we always had what we call our digital assistant. It was always on the right-hand side, helping you out, giving you instructions, giving you guidance on what you can do next. And of course, we want to take that a step further, that you can start to converse around all of that, and that you can actually start communicating with the platforms. So this is going to be an interesting development in the future that we're definitely exploring on how we can leverage more of the capabilities that are coming forward from AI into the capabilities of our products. But first, let's look at what we already have today. So when we look at our AI capabilities, already several years ago, we introduced large language models into our OCR, ICR process. So our artificial intelligence actually reads words the same way humans do. If you wanted to go from that image that you see on the left, where you can see that November is written down, into actual data that any system, any platform can use, there's several techniques in between that allow us to get us there. First, we have a convolutional neural network that is going to look at all of the different facets of that particular image. Shapes, sizes, it's going to do image segmentation, it's going to do segmentation on the letters. And that input is then provided into a transformer, which is, by the way, the same technology that is being used for, you guessed it, ChatGPT, generative pre-trained transformer. So that's the same technology there. These things are very good and transforming input into a desired output and learning themselves how to do that. They can make sense out of very complex data structures and turn that into the kind of output that we are expecting. At the same time, we are using our very own self-built large language model. This language model has been trained on 10 million parameters, specifically fit for purpose for this task, to take that input, that guess that is coming out of the transformer, and putting that into the estimation of what exactly this word could be, which leads us to November. This introduction of this technology provided a really great enhancement to our OCR accuracy, which is one of the key things that we wanted to have, or that you want to have inside of your IDP platform. So again, all of this technology already exists in both our FlexiCapture, FileReader, and Vantage platforms today. But of course, we haven't stopped there. With ABBYY's deep learning trained for a specific purpose, which is exactly what you're looking for, to be able to gather all of that data that you need to be able to leverage any kind of technology in the future, we also have our deep learning capabilities. So if I wanted to walk you through, the principle is actually quite similar. First, we start off with our document, where we have, again, a convolutional neural network that's going to do feature extraction. These features include things like the logos, the actual positions of the text, what the words are, and everything else. Of course, the OCR has also happened. So once we know how the document is compiled and what the composition is, we can again use a transformer to take that input that will then provide us with the output of what the labels are of the different fields that we are looking for. In combination with GBM, we'll then actually have the ability to identify the correct positions of the piece of data that we want to extract from the document. Now, the interesting thing here is, you also see it on the slide, we have two different kinds of output, and that is exactly for a very good purpose. That purpose being is we have a specific model that is trained solely on the header items of the document. We then have a very specialized model that we also are able to repurpose across different document types for line items. At ABBYY, we've seen the reality of intelligent document processing, which is really working with very complex document structures. Line items within line items, where you actually have descriptions that overlap another column, all of it is the reality of working with documents. And that is why we have a very specialized, very accurate model specifically for those types of use cases. Combining it all together gives us great accuracy and great results. Now, the great thing about all of that is that we can deliver out-of-the-box skills with Vantage. The combination of our deep machine learning, which is able to provide you 90% plus accuracy, for example, in certain use cases like invoices, combining that with fast machine learning. Now, you're probably wondering, why DeepML and FastML at the same time? Well, there's a good point to that. Deep machine learning uses neural networks and others of the capabilities that you saw today, but they take a lot of input and ability to be able to become uptrained. Now, we're working on that. We actually have already deep machine learning capabilities that you can leverage inside of the Vantage Advanced Designer. But we want to deliver accuracy and speed to ROI for our customers. So for that reason, we also have FastML. FastML works very similar to memorization. It uses an array of different techniques to actually be able to identify the right positions, again, or locations of the data that you're looking for in documents that it hasn't seen before and that DeepML is not able to recognize. The big benefit, where you would need several hundred documents to be able to further train deep machine learning, with FastML, you can do it with just a couple, giving you that very fast ROI. And in the background, we're still collecting them. So you can get to that point where you can further uptrain the deep machine learning as well. The combination of the two, including our human in the loop interface, which is incredibly intuitive, allows you to get to that ROI that you're looking for very, very quickly. Now, the great benefit of all of this is that we are continuously working inside of our research and development department to look at everything that is open source proprietary technology that we're developing ourselves, and we continuously scan the market as well as the academic world. We work together with a lot of institutions that actually provide us insights, and we provide insights back. But the important step here for you, our customers, is that we optimize everything for inference, resources, and costs. That is absolutely essential, because it's great to have research projects, but you actually are looking for a commercial product that will give you a benefit inside of the market. So whenever we provide these kind of products, they have all been, again, optimized for inference, resources, and costs, allowing you to get to proven business outcomes. And Sylvana is going to be talking about some of those in just a second. But of course, we also want to give back to the community. So that's why we also open source all of these optimizations as well as some of the research that we do into our NeoML library. The NeoML library is available on GitHub and actually is being used in a lot of projects around the world. So all of this has these capabilities, and the research community is also looking at it to see how we did these optimizations and how they can incorporate them in future versions of their own projects. So this is a great continuous cycle, and this is how we continue to help advance the AI capabilities around the world. So we covered just a few sections in depth about our AI capabilities inside of our products, but really we have cutting edge AI at each step of our document processing pipeline, going from image enhancement, object detection, OCR, which we covered today, classification, and extraction for both structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So really any kind of document can be processed with ABBYY Vantage. A lot of techniques go into these capabilities, as you can see below. And that's why I said at the start, it's not a singular thing. AI is not just one thing. It is a collection of specialized techniques, and especially if you take into consideration the capabilities that you need to leverage other types of AI, such as generative, you need to have the right data, and you need to get the right data through the most possible accurate models. You need narrow AI to help you get there. So Andrew will talk about a few of these in just a second, about where these are applied inside of the product and where we're taking it in the future. Now, all of this really comes to a conclusion in the sense that ABBYY's AI capabilities really are the first step in your AI journey. Your data is locked away in silos of data with various systems, combined with all of the data that's locked away inside of documents. Our AI capabilities that are leveraged inside of our products, Timeline and Vantage, allow you to really have a strong foundation for you to get to the point where you can start to leverage newer AI capabilities such as generative AI in specific ways, so that you can do that safely with the right capabilities around legislation as well as ethics. So it's for that specific reason that we love to state that we have both the experience and innovation at heart for all of our products, which makes it a true AI-first company. I hope this gives you a bit of an insight as to all the great AI capabilities you already have inside of your platforms today. And I'm really happy to now introduce Andrew Zuzin to give you an overview of where we're going next with our roadmap. Andrew, I hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maxim. Hello, everyone. Great to be here. Let me make myself the presenter. Share my screen. So hopefully you can see it right now. Let me introduce myself really quick. So I am VP of Product Management, working like 16 years with intelligent document processing. And obviously Vantage is our flagship product in this area today. I will try to tell you a bit about this roadmap. So currently we have version 2.3.2 in production. 2.4 will come by the end of the year, and 3.0 it's story of the next year, just to provide you kind of landscape. The main pillars of the Vantage. The first one is a platform. So platform is more than cloud native, microservice oriented, containerized. And from the user perspective, it is number of flows. So in low code, you can configure flows, which represents business processes, and you can parameterize these flows with something that we call skills. And the trick is that the majority of skills are just available to you. Yeah, you would like to do something from transportation, finance, or whatever. Our strategy is that you should work with ready-to-go skills. This provides time to market. And the same true about connectors. We're working hard today to provide as much as possible connectors to popular systems. So basically time to value should be really, really quick because once again, you built in low code from the ready to go elements. If you need a new document type to process, okay, probably the first thing you should think about, could you readjust some of the existing skills, not to train everything from the scratch, but just uptrain the skill for another document type, but which is probably very, very similar to what you have. So behind the scene, as I said, there is a containerized platform powered by Kubernetes, and this is cloud native technology, and it allows us to provide you very high SLA. It is designed with the performance in mind, and we call it transactional oriented. So when we talk about throughput, yeah, like we can do 1 million pages within 8 hours. It means that doing that, scaling the system up, we actually keep in focus the average time to process one document. And you can see on the chart at the right, like we start here as a processing with 10,000 pages in 8 hours, and then we increase the load 100 times. But at the same time, the time to process one 10-page invoice, which was initially 40 seconds, it just increased to 50 seconds. So most stays the same if we consider that we increase the overall load 100 times. And exactly in the center of the slide, you have the statement about 10 seconds. So we really think that any document, one-page document of the complexity like invoice should be definitely processed in 10 seconds. Absolutely depends on the skill design, and sometimes like you can add too many models in the skill pipeline, it will be slower, but please be aware of this expectation, and each time if one page takes longer than 10 seconds, it's a very good reason to come to us and talk about that, because probably there is an issue in the product or in the configuration, and we can resolve it and address. Security, it's like top of our mind, and we just have hired a new Chief Information Security Officer who reviews all we are doing and like shapes a new strategy on security for us. Another big thing, it is AI. And by the way, just go back for a sec for the platform. The reason to redesign the whole platform, to create a new platform, was the ability to provide you new advancements of AI really quick, because this architecture, which is containerized, it allows us to introduce new containers with new technologies pretty quick. Yeah, so it's really open for extension architecture. So on the AI side, Maxim has already shared this slide that from one hand, intelligent document processing is just a number of typical steps we all get used to. But in reality, there is a lot of AI behind each step. And let me guide you really through the like few first steps, like image enhancement. I would not overload you with names of algorithms, but better show some outcomes. Like we can do cropping, we can correct trapezoid distortions, we can eliminate overlapping objects like stamp you can see here, preserving the text. Yes, so everything is being done just to facilitate OCR and provide high quality text to you. At the bottom of the slide, you see the case of real-life documents which were just crumpled, and that's why lines are inclined in different angles, and this is also possible. So you can see that we straighten line again to facilitate OCR process. The next step is object detection. So before we can recognize something, we need to first detect that objects are there. So the approach is called image semantic segmentation. It's very similar to what self-driving cars have to identify where pedestrians, where traffic lights, and so forth. So in a few words, we try to separate the image we have. In our case, it's a document. We split it in many squares of different scales, and then each square is classified if it has text, if it has barcodes. So this approach is like dramatically improved what we had before in previous versions, and we are able to get plenty of objects right now with very high quality. For example, for barcode detection, our quality is above 99%. So it's really cool. What we are doing right now here. So right now we are thinking, and actually already like understand how to do it and implementing multi-threading processing. So we try to improve time of processing for one document, even for one page document. Yeah, obviously, if you submit multi-page documents in system Vantage, they are all parallelized by pages and being processed in parallel. But even within one page, we can detect different type of objects actually in parallel. And then let's say we came up with several zones where there is a text. Okay, we can OCR that in parallel. So all this being done, and actually a huge effort is being invested to provide near to real-time experience to you. So Maxim told already about now our new approach to OCR. I just want to emphasize how it's different from the previous one. So the traditional approach is separate character by character, and you can see it's possible to separate by these white gaps. Okay, if you face low resolution scans or bad photos, it's not so obvious how to separate characters. And when it comes to Arabic or handwritten, it's just not possible to separate. And here is new approach comes to play, where system just guesses words. So yeah, we use here language models, but I will just go to outcomes because Max really covered this in detail. So we support 200 languages. We now deal very good with complicated backgrounds like watermarks or documents protected from the fraud or some crumpled receipts. Any kind of distortions you may expect, Vantage will just automatically, without you need to enhance something, just in real life document automatically will provide you the best possible result. And also we support handwritten for plenty of languages, like European, Japanese, Cyrillic languages, and we keep extending this language support. So before we continue our story about AI, let me emphasize that our strategy is to provide ready-to-go skills, because it significantly reduces time to market. If you just take ready-to-go skill and just slightly fine-tune or uptrain it for your documents, or probably just use it as it is. So this number of skills that we're having is expanding, and like this is main priority. To provide you some idea about these skills, just to talk about one of them, skill for identity documents. So it reads IDs from all over the world, like more than 10,000 variations. It's able to deal with text and visual area, with MRZ, with barcodes. We're thinking about adding RFID chip reading, and all the data extracted from different sources obviously can be validated, cross-matched to understand that it is a real document. In future, we think to enhance this scenario and to provide kind of proof of identity skill, which also will work with selfie, with liveness detection, but this is just coming. So what powers all the skills? Also, Maxim has presented this already, so I will be pretty shallow. Like there is a big neural network. It's basically a transformer, but this transformer is multimodal. When we talk about large language models, it's basically about NLP, about one modality, about text. So this transformer is also enabled with another modality, with image. So you can see at the screen, like there is a CNN. So how it works in very few words. So let's say each word of the document we need to describe with some vector. And this vector is produced to us by CNN, which puts their visual context of the word. There's a lot of visual context in documents. Like without reading, you still can understand if it is a table, if it is a header of document, if it is a key value. So actually, this knowledge goes in the vector. And then there is a language model that produce embeddings. So embeddings is a well-known notion. So basically, it's a vector that preserve all textual context, in which typical textual context such word appeared. But we use specifically trained language model, which is trained only with documents. So the relevance of our document, of our model, is very high to documents. It's not trained with like all Wikipedia and so forth. And these two guys provide one big vector with special features, with textual features to the transformer. And what transformer does, it basically learns links between words. Like the link between, if you want to extract total amount of the invoice, let's say, probably the label invoice number is not very relevant, but amount due or amount to pay is much more relevant. This is what exactly transformer does. It tries to learn all the links between all the words. Today, this technology is available to you to train in Advanced Designer. So there is a DeepML activity, and you can provide your documents, click train button. On CPU, it will take longer, but still it's possible to train with CPU. On GPU, it goes faster, and like you're welcome to play with it, because we think this is exactly the way how projects should be delivered right now. If you can't use for some reason ready-to-go skill, and you have some bunch of documents from the customer, this is your first choice. You need to train DeepML because it will generalize. It will generalize to unseen yet variations. Yeah, obviously, if you deal with fixed forms, approach can be easier. We will talk about this in a few minutes. But if it's really, really complicated document type with a variety of layout, DeepML is your first choice. Okay, what is coming next? Like if we start thinking about 3.0, we really want to amaze everyone and provide the easiest possible solution, the fastest time to market. So the question was okay, if neural networks are such powerful, if they really outperform humans, would just learn all the documents and that's it. Actually, it can. But the problem is it will be much bigger. So I put here 1,000 times bigger, and actually bigger means more parameters, but it probably will be even more, even bigger, yeah. And the problem with such size is it's hard to train, yeah, because still if you want to fine tune to your specific documents, all this general knowledge, it will require some training. And the answer here is the new approach that is called fine-tuning, or it is based on so-called algorithm LoRa. So in few words, what is LoRa is, the idea is that you can pre-train really, really huge model. So let's say ChatGPT or Google's brand with billions of parameters. But then if you need to adjust such size of the model, to some very specific task, you can train much smaller size of the model that will just correct the previous one. But this correction has been done in very intelligent way. Actually, there was a lot of experimenting, and some guys tries to frozen the whole transformer and just train several layers in this transformer, and it all doesn't work with great quality. So this approach allows actually to adjust almost each layer of the transformer. Still, the number of adjustments is not so huge. Yeah, I mean, this general knowledge that the frozen model has still plays great role. So the adjustment is really small, and that's allows us to have very small neural networks that adjust this big one frozen. So this is a well-known approach. I mean, it's pretty modern. I think the very first implementation, successful implementations in community were just this spring, but it's already has a lot of there are a lot of articles on that. So if someone interested, I think you can just search for that to understand it better. So with this approach, the outcome would be that we can significantly decrease number of samples you need to train the model to adjust to your use case. And also, we think there will be a generic model that will work just for any document and extract out of the box some general fields. So this is what we are working on right now and what we think is coming next year. Okay, if we move forward with Vantage, you have trained something significant, or you use just our ready-to-go skill. What is the outcome? What is return on investment of that? And 2.4 will bring a feature called quality analytics that first of all visualize rate-through processing rate, but also it highlights where the time of manual review is still spent. So it really guides you through the issues. And let's say you have just 2-3 days to improve something in this skill. So it will suggest you where to spend your time to get the most contribution. So probably one document type is always misclassified, or there is a bad field poorly trained because it's probably not very representative in the training set, or some supplier sends you bad invoices, or in some branch or scanner doesn't work. So such kind of thing. So few points more. I will not go deep in that, like mobile input. So we provide a mobile experience for iOS and Android, which you can integrate just by one URL. So it's not SDK, it's hosted by us service that you can integrate inside your web application or inside your native application just by one link. Or if you don't have any applications, but you want end customer to submit documents via mobile, you just can send this link by SMS or showing barcode. And the guy, when he goes with this link, he has mobile experience to capture documents, and you can customize this experience. You can say, I would like to get ID, and then experience will tell, show me the front end, back end, or I would like to get multi-page documents or few documents, and there will be kind of the journey on the mobile device that will guide users through taking all these documents. So last but not least, think about current version of Vantage. It is deployable on premises using just virtual machines. So we will put Kubernetes inside and all this stuff, but you should not be the expert in Kubernetes. Yeah, you just provide Linux-based virtual machines, and installation program will do its job. We also support special deployment for private Azure. Deployment for private AWS will come next year. And our main option, and what we really promote and recommend, just use it from the public cloud, and you have no responsibility and issues with infrastructure. Okay, what is coming? As I said, 2.4 will be available by the end of the year. And the first thing that I really want to mention, it will have a new technology core. And each time we release Vantage since 2.4, it will always bring a new version of technology core. So what is technology core and why it is important? Technology core is a set of our all containers, microservices that we use to run the technologies and what actually executes your skill. So when you create a skill or get our skill, it is tied to one technology version, to one technology core. So when we do updates in public cloud, we still preserve previous technology cores. So it means that regardless we updated the whole system, we do not affect how your skill works. And it's completely up to you to choose time and to benchmark your skill with a new technology core to see how it works. And if something is not acceptable, you can just discard that and keep your skill with the existing technology core. So once again, updating of technology is now on you. We operate with several technology cores simultaneously. Another nice thing is something that we call direct skill. So let's say that you would like to provide service to several customers, and they process more or less the same documents. The good idea is actually to train neural network for all of these customers. Yeah, probably you train neural network, and say neural network, I mean deep ML. So you train it for the first customer, and then uptrain to the second, and then to the third, and you would like to reuse that. At the same time, each customer has his own specific business rules. FastML should be uptrained per customer. So now it's all possible. So you can create a base skill that you regularly update with new samples and uptrain, and you can create derived skills on the base of this kind of reference base skill. So derived skill can has all customer specific, like rules, customer specific uptraining, but then when you come up with a new version of base skill, you can easily update all derived skills. So all customers will get this updated neural network, let's say. The same approach works between us and you. Let's say you use our ready-to-go skill, and you obviously adjusted it, created your business rules, uptrained for your specific documents, and tomorrow we come with a new version of improved base skill. Using this approach, you also can update your skill with our new version, preserving all your editing. Next thing we are going to provide in 2.4, it is a special mode for fixed forms. So probably no need to train neural networks with hundreds of samples for just fixed forms. So this mode will be trainable with only one sample. We recommend to provide empty form. So system will be able to eliminate static elements from forms, like if the date field has suggested text like DD, MM, YYY for the date. Yeah, sometimes it interferes with OCR, and the system will be able to eliminate it automatically. What else we have? Yeah, the last thing I would like to mention today, it is NLP rules. So when you deal with text, it can be completely unstructured document like a contract, or it can be just like invoice line item description, which is also a piece of text. We provide you a trainable entity extraction. So you just show where fields are, press train button, and here you're done. This is what is already available. But we are adding rules. So for those who are familiar with flexi layouts, it will be very similar to that, but working not with geometry, but with the text. So for example, you can say, I would like to extract a person which is not very far from the word that means his position, like director, vice president, manager, engineer. So this is the entity I'm looking for. So these rules will be useful if you want to keep AI under control. So you can train entity extraction, and then as a second step, use rules. And inside these rules, you will have all the hypotheses provided by neural network. And if you, let's say, perfectly knows that this person is your employee and it should match the list of employees, you can do this check and filter the and select the best hypothesis from the neural network. So really powerful approach. First time we'll be introducing to the 4, so we recommend to try it. Yeah, so main features I mentioned, we're heavily working in multi-threading to speed up processing of one document, and you can see that some more features are coming, like Arabic support, some export to PDF improvements, and so forth. And the very last slide, which I will be very, very brief here, it is about 3.0 version. So there are some circles here, and the size of the circle correlates with the amount of efforts and attention that we put on the topic. And you see in the middle of everything as AI, and our main target is to reduce time to value. So less labeling, everything works out of the box with ready skills. Like you provide any document and we tell you what this document has, all the fields. Business users will be able to train multi-modal documents. It means there will be no difference if it is a semi-structured or unstructured. Just show fields and neural network will provide the results. And as we discussed today with the slower approach, we are introducing few-shot learning. So the number of documents to train neural networks will be significantly reduced by the fact that the neural network comes pre-trained. Actually, you just like fine-tuning it. Our second biggest track is enterprise readiness. And one thing to mention here, we are going to bring some automation capabilities. So probably you do not need to use RPA so heavily if you just want to deal with document-centric intelligent automation. So ability to transform data, to fit backend requirements, to integrate with different systems, this all coming. Manual review workflows, yeah, so like for BPO scenarios or when inside enterprise you have kind of subject matter experts verifiers and probably selective quality assurance of verification. So this all will be possible. There will be SLAs that help people to be in time with the processing. Business reporting is already there, like we have big warehouse with business reporting that you can visualize in any Power BI tool, but we also will bring some visualization just out of the box. So a lot of stuff coming. I think it's very, very exciting, and the latest AI advancements, they're really breathtaking, and we are very, very excited to be on this cutting edge and to think each day how to apply it to the document processing and how to bring it to you guys in commercially reasonable manner, not just with tons of hardware. Thank you very much for your attention, and let me pass the word to Slavena.
Thank you very much, Andrew. My name is Slavena Kristova, and as Max mentioned at the beginning, I would like to talk today about how these exciting capabilities and innovation in AI that is under the hood in our product is actually being used by a few of our recent customers in order to provide these capabilities and these business outcomes for their business processes. I see that my camera is not working, so I'll try to fix this. I think that's, anyhow, I'll just keep talking. So the first customer that we are going to look at today is KeyBank. This is a large US American bank that is active in 15 states in the United States, and they have about $195 billion total assets. Their customers span across retail, small business, corporate, commercial, and investment customers. So they looked at their processes across various departments and realized they have a lot of manual they have a lot of manual processes where they extract data from very complex documents. So they wanted to make these more efficient. And again, it was not just one process, it was really various processes involving multiple different documents. So they were not looking at to find a point solution for just one of these processes. They were actually looking to find something that can work across these multiple departments and is scalable enough in order to solve these time-consuming, error-prone manual data entry that is not only costing money, but is also exposing the bank to potential liabilities, which obviously they would like to eliminate. And one not very typical requirement for a customer in the financial sector was that they were looking for a cloud-based solution because they have what they call the cloud initiative, and they aim to move all their operation to the cloud in a obviously very strict and strict data security and privacy compliant manner, which is aligned with all the regulations that are imposed to them by their regulators. So with the help of one of the big four consultancies, they evaluated different IDP solutions. Among them were Vantage in the cloud and one of the tech giants. And Vantage actually came out as a clear winner, for one, due to the language support that it provides, but also because it is low code. It provides them the flexibility to onboard new processes flexibly and quickly, because they have a very quick pace in automating these processes that they want to keep. And they also were very excited about the pre-built skills that both Andrew and Max mentioned that are available out of the box for various processes. So all the questions about security and privacy were answered to their satisfaction. So they moved on with implementing the first use case, which was around wealth management and specifically the transition of assets of affluent customers to their bank and their wealth management services. And this happens by working with a brokerage statement which is provided by various wealth managers, approximately 40 different ones, so 40 different variation of this brokerage statement document. And just to show how a document that is brokerage statement looks like, it is a summary of a brokerage account, including all the holdings details and also the transactions around this account. And depending on how large the account is, these various tables that list these details can span across multiple pages. So it was not an easy type of document to work with. And interestingly enough, we didn't have on our marketplace a ready-to-go skill for specifically that document type, but we were happy to work with the customer and benefit from their expertise and guidance and create together with them a skill for brokerage statements, which was very satisfactory in terms of achieved out of the box accuracy when processing these skills. So what they were able to achieve is not only they eliminated the manual data entry that was costing them a lot of time and taking away the focus of their very skilled staff on dealing with these documents. They also accelerated and simplified the onboarding of these high net worth individuals, which is obviously beneficial for the bank. With a variety of pre-trained skills that we have for various processes in the financial services area, they are now looking into optimizing and automating different processes around loan origination, customer onboarding, invoice processing, and many more. The next customer that I would like to cover here, who shall remain unnamed, is the financial services arm of one of the three largest car manufacturers in the United States. What they were looking to automate and actually improve the automation of is the loan origination processing for financing car purchases. This specific financial services arm is handling about 2 million retail customers per year, so quite a lot of requests for financing, as you can see. And they had an existing solution, which was not only not solving their use case to their satisfaction, but costing them a lot of money in terms of personnel having to go in and manually correct low accuracy that the previous solution was providing. They had to have 2 developers on staff to help them improve and implement changes to the package of approximately 20 document types that is involved in this process every time some change was implemented. Like, for example, the car title documents that are different in each state. In the United States, and each state can change the look and feel and the structure of this car title at any time. So in order to do this and to adjust their processes, they had to have actual developers on staff. So what they were looking for was higher accuracy and straight-through processing, a very critical portion, because they wanted to save the cost for the manual labor to correct that poor accuracy, but also the need was to be able to close these loan origination applications within just 3 days, which they were not able to do with their previous solution. So what they also evaluated different IDP solutions. Again, Vantage and a Tech Giants solution were involved in that evaluation. And this specific customer is working through Pega as their business process automation platform. And one of the requirements was that the solution obviously works well together with Pega. And they selected Vantage also in the cloud, again, under strict data security and privacy requirements, which were met for the customer. And the result was that at the end, the customer was able to save approximately 20% in the total cost of ownership, which came not only from the more attractive price of the Vantage Cloud for their process, but also from eliminating the manual labor for correcting low accuracy, from having to retrain their staff of working in a different solution, because through the out-of-the-box Pega connector that Vantage provides, their staff is able to work with the documents right inside of Pega without having to switch to Vantage itself. So they didn't have to learn using a new tool, and they could continue using their regular processes. And also they used the pre-built skills available from the marketplace as an accelerator to their time to value, and were able to achieve approximately 95% accuracy rates out of the box and meet their process closing of the loan origination process within 3 days, which they had as a goal. Here you can see again the pre-built skills that we have available for loan origination, customer onboarding scenarios, which obviously we are happy to extend for together with the customer and depending on their needs. And the last one that I would like to cover today is a tax preparation company that is active in both North America and Australia. That company is handling about 20 million tax returns for individuals for personal tax filings. And again, they had an existing solution. In this specific case, they were happy with the accuracy, but they were unhappy with the customer experience. They identified that their customers are now looking for more flexible solutions, specifically providing the documents that are required for the tax filing process via mobile. And they call it, which I think is really a great way to look at your customers, they wanted to delight their customers. So they were also unsatisfied with their existing solutions in terms of lack of flexibility to adopt. So the Internal Revenue Services in the United States, the IRS, has a multitude of forms for different scenarios during tax filing. And each year, a big number of these forms get updated, and the data that is requested there gets changed. So the customer was in the need to provide more flexibility, and this is what they saw as an advantage in Vantage, the ability with the low-code capabilities to adapt their processes quickly and self-sufficiently for the variety of document types that they're dealing with. Here again, a lot of personal data is being stored in these documents and that they receive. So data security privacy was a big topic for them. And this customer, again, selected Vantage as their solution, Vantage in the cloud. They were very happy with the pre-built tax form skills that we had in the ABBYY marketplace. And this is the number of skill that you see now on the screen on the right side that we have now. Before we started working with this customer, we had, I think, about half of them. And the other half we actually developed together with the customer under their expert guidance and are now able to make it available for other customers in the North American region. So this was one thing that this customer actually very highly appreciated in working with us, is that we took their use case and their needs seriously and worked together with them in a close partnership to solve their use case and scenario. And what they were able to achieve is not only between 95 and 98% out of the box straight-through processing rate, but also they were able to match the expectations of their customers about user experience. They are able to now faster prepare the documentation for tax filing. And in the very heavy and busy tax season in the United States, they can scale without having to worry about infrastructure, because they use Vantage in the cloud, which is something that Andrew mentioned while he was talking about why we recommend our customers to use Vantage in the cloud. And with that was the last use case. Now I'm handing over to you, Max.
Yeah, thank you, Slovenia. That was absolutely excellent. So I wanted to just pick one question from the Q&A. A lot of the questions were already answered by Andrew, so thank you for that. Now, there is one particular question that I wanted to get your opinion on, just to cover a little bit more detail. So one of the questions was, other vendors are promising 99.5% plus accuracy. What are your thoughts? Is this true? Can you also achieve this? My short answer would be yes, but Andrew, I don't know if you want to give a more nuanced answer to that.
Yes, thank you. So as product manager, I should learn how to say no. This is exactly the case. I would say it's kind of irresponsible to provide such promises. And the situation in the market is that there are like more than 400 suppliers, and there are like AI companies, and there are some legacy companies, and there are a lot of startups. And what we see in the market that startups, they really like confuse customers, saying some nonsense like this. And by the way, we think our sweet spot in the market is, from one hand, being advanced in the AI, and from other hand, from the deep understanding of use cases and all this functionality, like advanced manual review workflows, something that allows you really to apply this AI in real life. So going back to 99.5, for some tasks, actually, yes. For OCR of printed text, absolutely. For barcode detection, no doubts. Probably even for processing of fixed forms, if they are like all clean. What we would expect in reality, and that I think you should expect, like out of the box with ready-to-go skills on your documents that we didn't use for training, I would expect about 80% of STP rate. Yeah, if it's not achieved, okay, something goes wrong, report us feedback, we may improve something and so forth. After up training, you may expect 90-95%. And so this is STP rate. So that means that on the field level, for some fields, it may be really close to 100% quality, but not obviously for each field. And please never expect this such high quality as 99.5 from us or any other supplier out of the box, and even after heavily up training. So yeah, this is my honest answer to that.
Thanks, Andrew. That was really good. So before we close, I would really like to first of all, give my thanks to everybody for participating, for all the questions. I'd also like to make you aware of a really exciting initiative here at ABBYY. We've declared September as Intelligent Automation Month. So to mark this occasion, we're inviting you to join us for a series of expert-led webinars. We still have quite a few that are coming up. They've already been going since last week, and they will give you a new understanding of how the latest AI advancements are really powering intelligent automation and changing the future of work globally. So if you want to learn more, visit abby.com to learn more for sure. There's lots of links there you can find to all of the webinars that we're running. And all this brings us to the end of our time, almost on time specifically. We want to thank you again for joining us, both from myself, Andrew, and Silvana. Feel free to contact us for any more information that you might need at intelligence@abby.com. And I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks again for joining. Bye-bye.